Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
All right, so I made a trap door that went down in my basement from that's kind of, hidden with the floor. It's a habitable room. I kind of found you guys on YouTube discussing about hinges. So I was kind of, interested on maybe, I'm not trying to go the hinge route. I just want two door pulls that can take my hand, like all four fingers, so I can lift this thing out of there whenever I have to access. Yeah, but hold on just a second. Obviously, they would need to be routed in, so they would be, flush. And then it's a 3/4 inch, where we put down real hardwood, and oil rub bronze is the type finish that my wife wants.
Okay.
So now it's your turn.
Oh, no, I have nothing to add to that.
Oh, really?
Yep, I've got the perfect thing for you.
Okay. So did you wanna email me the what it looks like, or
Yeah, would you like to see what it looks like?
Yeah, you want my email?
Yeah.
It's T as in Tom, Gunning, Gunning. It's like running with a G, at Bomark Electric, BOMARK electric.com.
So you're not making an attempt to conceal these doors at all?
What do you mean? What,
you're not trying to disguise them. It doesn't matter if people can see that the door.
We're gonna put a rug over it. I was talking to my carpenter. We were gonna go with the piano hinge whole thing with trying to make it hinged, and I think we both came to the conclusion, even talking to my wife, that it's not going to be. It's just something so I can get down. It's a crawl space. It's not a habitable basement. It's just utilities down there. We're going to just probably put a rug over it, throughout this build. Go ahead.
Yeah. The problem with the piece of hardware is it's going to project off the face of the door slightly.
Well, it's going to, so the top of the door is flush with it's consistent throughout the whole door, through the whole door, floor plan.
Yeah,
so what are you saying? So what do you?
Any hardware that you apply to it's going to stick off the face of the door. Whether you have a door vertically like a normal swing door, or you take that door and you lay it down like a trap door.
I understand. I'm sure you're gonna. It's got a. I install floor boxes all the time, so I'm sure there's kind of it stands off maybe an 1/8 inch or something like that. Because you're gonna have to. There's a flange that's got to go around it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So
that's okay.
I don't know how that's gonna. How much is it gonna stick up?
Oh, a small amount. I wouldn't say that it's an 1/8, but it is quite small. However, is it agreeable to toss a rug over it? If I walked over.
Well, that's our plan, is to put a rug over it. So we don't want to be.
When I walk over it and step on it, I'm gonna sense that I've just stepped on something.
Right.
Okay. What's the door made out of?
We put 3/4 inch subfloor down. It's got 2x6 frame underneath of it, so it's pretty heavy. It's probably, I would say, roughly 40 pounds. And then on top of it is
like oak flooring or something, or whatever.
Yeah, we put down red oak.
So okay, have you just thought about just cutting into that red oak with like a T-slot sort of bit where you can give yourself a little finger pull so that you're not leaving happy to sell you a piece of hardware, but I'm thinking, don't buy any hardware. Just route the door itself. Go down far enough so that you can, because you're going to have to mortise it anyway, but just mortise with a T-slot, a T-bit, so you can get in there and leave yourself a little finger hold. But I'll email you what meets the verbal description.
Right. It's about a 2 foot by, I would say it's maybe a 2 foot by 2 foot scuttle hole. So I'm just worried about going down, I don't know. Maybe it's about a 2 foot by 3 foot scuttle hole, for headroom to get down with a shift ladder. But I'm worried about being able to lift it up. You know what I mean? I don't know if my hands could go down into the flooring, and then, having it off of the flooring a little bit kind of gives my back a little bit of a break,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay, well, I get that, and I've got something that's kind of cool. Oil rubbed is the finish requested, and I'm going to send this over to you. It's, it meets the requirements and give you a good little space to get your fingers under and go.
Yeah, I want all
what you.
Four. I want to be able to get all 4 fingers just so I have enough grip to lift it.
Uh-huh.
So the last one that I got from a hardware store, I thought maybe 2.5 was enough, but I got them in, and it was, I could barely get 2 of my fingers in there.
I'm also going to put on the quote a lifting mechanism that I think you should probably consider as well, just to help you with that, because deadlifting 40 pounds is not insignificant, regardless.
Yeah. I'm also looking at, one day I'll be 60.
Hopefully. And one day, hopefully, 80
right.
and beyond.
I'm trying to set this house up for this is my last house, so I'm designing it so for low maintenance and,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no doubt. Okay, I will. I'll send you over a couple little doodads here that you can take a look at and go from there.
Okay, if you can give me the project information, maybe this cut sheet on them, I appreciate that too.
Yeah, you'll be able to click on that. You'll be able to get to a link to the item. You'll be able to see that.
Okay. Okay, well, did you already send it?
No, sir. No, I'll send it right after we get off the phone.
Okay. Well, I'll take a look at it. Will you put your contact information in the email as well?
Absolutely.
The other thing that was going to help me with the lifting, are they going to be stationary? As in, no, fixed? Are they going to be fixed? Like, I was going to go the hinged route, and I was going to do a hydraulic. You've seen trap doors that had the hydraulics that help it, to lift it. But that would be fixed on one side of that door as well. So I didn't know that's what the project you were sending me.
It's not. It's what we would use on what we'd call a personnel door. So it's literally a piece of equipment that's used in your application when you've got a lighter duty roof hatch. Think of it as a really light duty roof hatch is kind of what it is. Well, this is a strut that you would see on the coupe of your Nissan 240SX, right? It's the same concept is what you're going to see.
Right. Yeah, well, I have to hinge that, though.
Well, you're not going to hinge this. You're going to lift the whole thing out? Oh, I understand. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll scratch that off of there. Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to toss some sauce hinges into it if you wanted it to swing. I got it. Yeah, you really.
Yeah, we were going to do a piano hinge, but then you would see the hinge at probably right at the flush of the floor, and you would have to see some of it, at least. And it was just too much of a nightmare. And we're trying to push this house along.
No, you don't want a continuous hinge. You want sauce. I'll put a link to it there. I'll add one of these hinges to it. I don't know if this will be this will probably work. Yeah, no, there's a hinge meant for doing this. Someone just asked me that question not too long ago. This hinge is completely concealed.
Well, that's how I found you guys, was on that YouTube video, the discussion of the hinge for the same application that I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then I was like, okay, well, my trap door looks exactly like what you guys provide in that YouTube video. So that's where I'm like, okay, well, maybe this guy can at least point me in the right direction on just lifting this trapdoor out with 2 hands, deadlifting it, or maybe me and somebody else if I need to get down. Me and my son, I got sons, so.
I wish I had more of those. I've only got one.
I got 2.
Seriously, if I knew then what I know now.
Right.
Well, the bottom line is you'll see a unit price for the edge pole or the flush pole. You'll see the hinge I'm talking about, so you can dive in and decide, how you want the design to be. What would be neat about not having it hinged is you can rabbet that whole. You could do a rabbeted edge all the way around, so it really sits flat, really nice, which I'm sure is how you'll do it. And it'd make a nice drop-in piece is what it is. You'll have to obviously spend time selecting all the wood so it all runs continuous. But yeah.
Well, we already have the floor hardwood. We already put the flooring down. It's all continuous throughout the whole door. So, yeah, we just need the actual hardware now, the router out. So,
got it. The door's built. Yeah.
The door's built and done.
Yep. All right. Well, I'll send you an email. Please reply back and at least let me know how it turns out, because some guy a year from now is going to wonder, he's going to ask me on YouTube, how did that turn out? And I'll update it.
Right. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, so our client has obviously a trapdoor, and I initially wanted to use before it was obvious to me that he had a situation where it seemed like it wasn't going to need to be concealed, except that it does. But I initially thought about this heavy-duty stainless steel barrier-free flush pole from Rockwood, and the reason I like it is because it's huge, allows you a lot of room to get your hand in, and it's through-bolted, meaning you'll be able to bolt that through the door, and it will be quite secure. This is what I initially thought. But the issue is, you've got this lip that sticks out here. The rug tossed over that's going to be an issue. Plus, the problem with the entire design is this wide open space that someone's heel is going to go into eventually. And I just, maybe someone will never walk over this. I don't know. And then I thought it would be possibly, after I realized the rug was happening, I thought, and that the client was okay with a small margin, I did think about the RM785 by Rockwood. I like that pole a lot because it's elegant. It's not too large and should allow him more finger depth to get in because of its inherent design. Here's your template. I like the fact that you've got more room to get the fingers in. That's an easy prep. It's circular. Obviously, no big deal on that. So I like that a lot. What I don't like is the fact that inside of here is where the screws will go. So all of the force is going to be transferred to that screw here in 2 places, here and here, to allow you to pull that up. It wasn't obvious to me that he was not hinging the door. It just wasn't obvious. I would think what they've created in the floor is something like this, where his door is going to sit here and it will be rabbeted like this. So once I learned that, the issue is, if that's the case of how the gentleman's floor is created, the issue with that is this is going to be it doesn't be oak flooring. It's going to be basically 3/4. Then this is 3/4 subfloor, so you got 1.5 inches, so it's going to certainly be heavy, but you're not really going to be able to. You may not be able to use a sauce hinge in here, although you might be able to. Let's take a look. Maybe a 208, a sauce 208 might work for a 3/4 inch thick. Minimum door thickness is 1 inch, so let's try a sauce 206. Nope. Yeah, a 204 would be a hinge that you could probably consider. It's a minimum of 3/4 inch thickness. And it's not really holding any weight, it's just keeping the panel there. So I would really recommend something like, well, that's a Hayfella version. Here's the sauce version. You can get it in dark oil rubbed finish. You're never going to see it. Here is our template for the sauce hinge. Okay. You just, it's going to, I think it would look great, actually. You know, you mortise that literally right in here, into your 3/4 material. The issue is you have to maintain not more than the E dimension that's on here, which is 1/8 of an inch. So that hinge is going to be prepped quite close. It'll be only 1/8 of an inch in here, but I think it'll be fine. The hinge is not that big. I would use that, and then also what I put on the client's quote was the lifting mechanism that I mentioned, which is this Personnel. It's basically what I described. It's going to help assist the thing. The issue is I can't tell them where to place this. It'll be a little bit of trial and error on the placement of this. I would obviously just mimic what's being done on this light duty roof hatch that's here, but that should work. Now the issue with that is you might end up needing a latch or some way to keep it closed. I might consider mortising into the face of the door a heavy-duty magnet, so as to at least keep the door pulled down to a certain degree. If that door warps at all, it's going to really be detectable at all, if it warps at all. And in my opinion, it's going to warp. I think you'll have a small amount of cupping on this door. The plywood's going to potentially cup or twist. So I'm admittedly, I'm a little bit concerned about this cupping. If I was going to greatly exaggerate it, something like this. So there is that concern that I personally have. The pull, the Personnel, the gas or gas lift that you'd see in a coupe of a car, and then some hinges. Not the right one for what his door is, but I don't know his exact construction detail, so I'm imagining, I don't see how else he would have it placed in there if not for some support on the side of the wall. Or what it could be is, here's the floor, here's the door, one by or oak flooring, and then he's just got a stop that's been nailed in here, and it just rests on top of that. No magnet's going to keep that from twisting or warping, but needs to be thought through, I should say. Okay, any questions on this trapdoor? Please feel free to reach out to us. I hope he does report back so we can determine how successful it was. Thank you.